This is a Q Media production.
How many buyer's agents, percentage-wise, do you think shouldn't be in the industry?
I'd say probably 85 to 90%.
This is going to make some headlines.
I was a real estate agent and I just saw a sheer gap in the market. Without a buyer, you have no transaction.
Who told you that you're crazy to do this?
Everyone said I was crazy. I knew it would work. The way I win is by knowing more factually than they will ever know.
Are most buyer's agents overpaid?
I would say that they're not worth the fee that they're given.
What do you have on the line that maybe no one really knew?
Everything. My dad had got sick. My whole family relied on this business. And so if it didn't work, I guess I was letting my whole family down. And I would say for at least the first 3 years, I was getting by. Cohen Handler, there's way more behind the name to what we stand for. I'm so passionate about what I do.
Comes through.
I just learned at a young age that if I wanted something, I had to get it myself. And there's a lot of things I want, so I knew I had to work very hard to get there. The real thrill should come from negotiating a low price, not paying the price that any idiot can pay just to get it across the line.
That's going to upset a lot of people.
No, I'm not here to make people feel good. You asked me a question, I'm answering it.
Simon Cohen, welcome, mate.
Thank you, good to be here.
Mate, 2009, I was just a few years out of school. And you started a buyer's agency. How many years has it been since you had a buyer's agency? Is that my math right? 16 years?
16 years, yeah. It's crazy how time flies, but it's been 16 years and the conversations were like that.
Yes.
What is a buyer's agency? Why am I paying you? Who the hell are you? Are you crazy?
Yeah, did you get a lot of like yeah, nahs? Like, tell me some of the, go back in time for me. What were the objections?
The objections were every objection you could think of. I mean, starting the business was an objection. What are you doing starting a business that no one knows exists? Why would people use a buyer's agent? What is a buyer's agent? It was the heart of the GFC, so why would you even leave a job you were doing really well at to start something that was completely unknown? But it was all of those things, I guess, that kind of made it more important for me to succeed at it. And to make it work.
Because I've got to give you kudos here straight away, man. Like, everyone wants to be a buyer's agent now. And it's easy just to join the gravy train. It used to be mortgage broking, in my view. Like, remember that? Oh, you've got to be a broker with a trail.
Yeah, so easy. Just slap on a sign and you'll make so much money.
That's right. But it's another thing to be able to see something before everyone's doing it, go all in on it, and succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, from your chair looking in, it probably looks easy and it looks like I had this great idea and everything just fell into place. But 16 years, there's been a hell of a lot of hurdles to overcome. And even 16 years later, there are still hurdles. And so for anyone who thinks it's easy or it was just a magical idea and everything else fell into place, it's actually like totally the opposite.
Yeah. We're going to be a bit juicy this morning. Is that okay?
Yeah, great. I mean, why wouldn't you want to get juicy on a Monday morning?
You got apple juice guy or orange juice guy? What's your...
I'd have to be freshly squeezed orange juice, yeah, no sugar.
That's the soundbite of the podcast. But listen, let's just get into it. Like, is buyer's agency the new drop shipping?
Well, is it the new drop shipping? No, because I think it's easy to do drop shipping and succeed. I don't think it's easy just to become a buyer's agent and succeed. I think you can drop ship without experience. I don't think you can be a buyer's agent without experience. I think drop shipping, you're selling someone that people can return. As a buyer's agent,
like it.
You have to have way more experience and knowledge and understanding than the person you're representing. And they're paying you for a service, not a product. And so I think it's completely different.
Yeah, interesting. So people think being a buyer's agent's easy. So if someone was to start a buyer's agency tomorrow, what are they underestimating?
They're underestimating the experience that you have to have. They're underestimating the sheer amount of competition in the marketplace. They're underestimating the relationships you have to have built over a number of years with the real estate agents to get access to the off-market, the pre-market, to be able to have properties swung in your favor. And they're underestimating how strategic you have to be and how good a negotiator you have to be.
That's right.
In what are some of the most competitive real estate marketplaces in the world to be able to succeed for your client.
Interesting. A lot of that is relational skills.
It's completely relationship based.
Why do you think it feels so, like, obviously when there's trends, people look at it and think it's easy. Why do you think the whole craze of becoming a buyer's agent has emerged?
I'm not going to lie, I thought drop shipping was easy and it was something I should get into on the side at some stage. So I definitely think it is, people see these things and they think it's so easy. I think people are like, oh my God, people make so much money being a buyer's agent. All you have to do is sign clients up and go shopping for houses for them. How hard can that be, right? And I think that's probably the biggest thing about it. And then you've got these spruikers going around saying it's so easy being a buyer's agent. Do this bullshit course and that bullshit course and I'll make you a buyer's agent within a week, right?
Yeah, that's what it's like right now.
You've got to have decades of experience. And so these poor buggers are doing these courses, they're paying all this money, and then they're sitting there thinking, well, what now? How do I get a client?
There wasn't a buyer's agent's college that existed when you first started, so how did you figure it out?
No, you had to be a real estate agent. I was a real estate agent and I just saw a sheer gap in the market. Buyers weren't being represented, and I just thought to myself, like, how can there be a system where it is so vendor, seller focused when without a buyer, you have no transaction? And I was doing a lot of buyer work at the agency I worked at, but I was like incredibly frustrated because I couldn't show the buyers I was working with any of the off-market stock that any of the other agencies had. And I just thought this is such a flawed model. And as crazy as it might have been and as against the will of a lot of people who told me I shouldn't do it, it was, I just knew that it was something that needed to be in Australia, and I knew it would work.
I love that. I love that right there. Who told you that you're crazy to do this? That you were surprised by?
If I knew 100 people, 99% of them.
How about your mum and dad?
Told me I was crazy.
Partner? At the time?
Didn't have a partner at the time.
Okay, well, dog, I have no idea.
Crazy. Everyone said I was crazy.
I love that.
Except one person.
Who was that?
Someone I used to work with.
I got you. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the episode. Now, if you're a buyer's agent or a real estate agent even, I want you to listen up for 30 seconds. What slows down deals isn't necessarily the sourcer or the agent. It's actually your team, like the solicitor. The contract reviews are really slow. Or the accountant. And these two people are essential to be able to get it actually legally compliant and across the line. Especially with communication to clients, if it's not commercially sound and they're not liaising with you, it can lead to deals not going through. Lucid Advisory and Lucid Legal are two of the best service partners for buyer's agents in the country. Lucid Legal do contract reviews between 6 to 8 hours. And Lucid Advisory is the accounting partner for buyer's agents that set up things like SMSS really quick, like within 48 hours. Entity setups within 48 hours too. So with those two powers combined, we help buyer's agents all across Australia to get faster deals and to have, much more important, a partner you can rely on. So reach out to the team at Lucid at lucidlegal.com.au or lucidadvisory.com.au and the team will be in touch. Now, we talked about how there's heaps of buyer's agents and there's spruikers and all that. We got to help the people who are listening to this, because a lot of people who listen to this podcast are investors, are business owners, and we're seeing buyer's agents everywhere like the plague, right? If I'm a customer, how can I tell the difference between a good one or a shit one?
Well, first I want to ask you a question. It's tax time. Would you, if you could choose between two accountants, would you go to an accountant who's been an accountant for 3 months or someone who has been an accountant for 10 years?
10 years.
Doctor, same question.
I'd hate it if someone was like, hey, putting you under with anesthetic, this is my first time. And
Could you imagine? Oh my God, am I going to wake up? But in all seriousness, how can you tell the difference? Well, I'd say, hey, how long have you been in the industry for?
Well, for me personally?
Well, these are the questions I'd asked. How many properties have you bought, in the area I'm looking in?
Yeah.
How many properties have you bought in my price range?
This is good. This is a Simon Cohen checklist of what you should ask a buyer's agent to tell the difference. It's common sense to you, but
it's a common sense checklist.
But let's just go through it. Let's go through it.
How long have you been doing it? What's your experience in my area? What's your experience in the industry? What are your relationships like? Have you got clients who you've bought for that I can reach out to and ask what their experience was like? 4 or 5 simple questions, but you'll get to the bottom of it very quickly.
Yeah, that's good, because what you'll hear from buyer's agents is they all sound the same. So becoming in a saturated market, it's very easy to copy everyone. So like we're all data driven.
So
right?
easy.
We're all the same. We've got access to all this other. Everyone says the
I
same
had
stuff.
breakfast yesterday with Taz Costi, who's my business partner in our commercial business, Costi Cohen. And he says, everyone's copied our website. And I said, you know how many websites I've had copied in the last 16 years? Take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
We just got to keep reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, you can copy someone's website, but you can't copy their proof.
No, and you can't copy the experience you're going to get. Fact.
It's absolutely
You
right.
can't copy their experience. You can't copy what they've done in the past. You can't copy their relationships. You can't fake that. And the amount of real estate agents I speak to, podcasts I do, talks I give at real estate conferences, and they say, oh my God, we get 1,000 emails a day from buyer's agents who we've never met before, and we don't even respond. You know what I say to those buyer's agents clients? Do it yourself. Do it yourself, because you don't need to pay someone to flick your realestateanddomain.com links, and you're probably a better negotiator than them. You know, someone comes to me and they say, oh, I've been offered 1%. I go, great. Is that the person you really want negotiating for you on a $3 million house?
Yeah, good point.
They're going to make you pay $3.5 million. Do it yourself.
No, that's a good point. Here's a hairy one for you. Are most buyer's agents overpaid?
I would say that the large amount of buyer's agents are overpaid, and I would say that they're not worth the fee that they're given.
That's a very good answer.
It's an honest answer.
Because I've been thinking about it here. Because when people join a long train of people who they just copy each other's rates, and without the
Well, no, they don't
experience.
copy the rates. Because they don't have the experience, they halve the rates. Or they
or
take the
undercut,
rates
yes.
down to 25%, because that's their only way that they're going to win business.
So it shifts the whole market. Yeah, when you're undercut.
As someone who started the industry, it's so frustrating to see how low the barrier of entry to the industry is.
Interesting. Yeah. So I want to hear more about this. So how do you feel it's affecting you're one of the fathers of this in Australia, right?
Don't make me seem older than I am.
Oh no, I mean,
I'm clearly very young.
You look pretty good for 67.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than you, but it must piss you off a bit. So like when you see, it's interesting when you're one of the first adopters, and it's evolved 16 years later. You got a lot of people going, oh yeah, buyer's agent, and throwing different prices out there, copying everything. How do you think it's affecting business today?
I'll put it to you this way. It doesn't really affect our business. We're so strong. I think if you're a smart buyer, you know where the people you want to work with, because you're going to get access to more than anyone could get you access to, and you're going to get experience to negotiate more than anyone. But where it really upsets me is I see a property that another buyer's agent offered 5.8 on, couldn't close the deal. We end up buying it for 5.5, right? I can give you 1,000 of those. And where it really cuts is these poor people are using buyer's agents, which makes me so happy and so proud. Like, I can't tell you, to see the shift in the amount of people who use buyer's agents is honestly one of the most beautiful things someone in my position could see. But fuck, it pisses me off when they overpay because they just want to get a deal done. They just want to impress the agent, and they just want to say they just bought this house. Where the real thrill, the real exhilaration, the real hard on from this job should come from negotiating a fucking low price.
Yeah.
Not paying the price that any idiot could pay just to get it across the line.
How many buyer's agents, percentage-wise, do you think shouldn't be in the industry?
I'd say probably 85 to 90%.
This is going to make some headlines.
Cool.
Do you think there's going to be a Royal Commission?
I don't know if there'll be a Royal Commission. I mean, I hope there is. I'd love there to be way more... I'd love there to be a body that governs the industry a lot closer.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we're so big, we get the spot checks by the Department of Fair Trading and everyone so often.
Yeah, you
right?
would. Yeah.
But I wish all the people that actually it needed to happen to, it happened to.
Yeah, it's an interesting industry you're in.
But we are exaggerating a point that on a day-to-day basis, I don't really care about. I focus on our business, our clients, the experience and outcome they get, and the rest is kind of white noise, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and I'm excited to get to that later in this pod because I want to throw forward to you went from being an agent to running an agency. It's a completely different brain, it's a completely different skill set. But you mentioned something about you're fun. The brand is really, like as a brand guy, I love the brand.
Thank you.
And it's not easy, especially, let alone being in business for 16 years and be profitable. That's one achievement. But having a brand that carries meaning to it and has a elevation to it, it's not easy. As you've got to say no more than yeses to a lot of things that go out into the public. So if I remove the name from the business tomorrow, how much would Cohen Handler still win?
You know, I'll tell you what we do, which I think is relative to everything you say. One thing I'm incredibly fortunate about is that I am so passionate about what I do.
Yeah, comes through.
Everyone who works in our team is as passionate. And I think when you're passionate about something, it's so easy to come to work every day. It's so easy to fight for what you should fight for in your industry. And it takes it away from being a job to becoming your lifestyle. And so whilst the name is the name and everyone knows it, Cohen Handler, there's way more behind the name to what we stand for. And that is being the best in our class, setting the standard, raising the bar, you know, customer experience being way better than it could be anywhere else. And so they would get the exact same experience, whether the name was Cohen Handler or White Walls, you know.
Interesting. You mentioned about, you mentioned a key point that I mention a lot with my business academy I have with Janine, is that the brand isn't just the videos and the website and the copy. It's actually the identity, the spirit that lives within your people. Your people are your brand as well.
Way more than the videos. They're the ones out there talking to people, meeting people, letting people actually tangibly see what your brand stands for. And so you can make 1,000 videos, in my opinion, but that's not a brand. That's not a brand.
Yeah.
You know, you look at any great brand, Aston Martin, Nike, whatever it might be, you can sit and describe the feeling it gives you.
It's true.
Not what their video looks like. And it's that feeling, to me, that is a brand.
That's exactly right. And I feel like there's a selection criteria you have. There's a spark in someone you see, because some things are tradable and some things aren't. So what
Passion, above all else, beats experience, knowledge.
Passion for what?
If it's milking cows, you can become the next dairy farmers. If it's being a buyer's agent, it's being a buyer's agent. Whatever your passion is, if that's what you decide to choose your career path to be, I guarantee you'll be successful at it.
Yeah, I think there's even something deeper here. I reckon there'll be something within yourself that you correct me if I'm wrong, is that every single one of your team that is one of your right-hand people, or they're coming through, have the same passion for freedom, have the same passion for, it's not just the money, it's got to be
actually,
some type
the
of
money's
vision.
not what anyone in my team thinks about.
Exactly.
Because the money's a byproduct of what we do, right? And we know if we do what we do, the money will come. But it's not what we get up every day and think about. Everyone knows. Two of my staff members were laughing the other day because the last week we did a lot of deals and they all happened at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. No one's allowed to go to sleep until the deal goes through. And the one said to the other, well, you're allowed to go to sleep. And they all love it, right? They're not complaining. But we all have this DNA in us that we're dedicated until the very end.
Yeah.
And it's that dedication that makes what we do so exhilarating and so exciting and so fun. And yeah, at the end of the month, the money comes and that's awesome. But I think if you focus on money, you start giving your clients the wrong advice. You start pushing people into properties they shouldn't buy. You start paying prices that you shouldn't pay.
That's what we're seeing a lot in the industry.
And
at the
that's
moment.
not what Cohen Handler stands for.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. And that's the thing, because there's a new generation coming through. Gen Zs will take more than 40% of the industry, the workforce, very soon.
And all they want is more money for less time. Fact. They want to work 2 days a week at home, and they want to earn 4 times what anyone was ever earning.
They want to have $500,000 and work on 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm well aware.
yeah, same. It's interesting. When we talk about brand and marketing, a lot of people would ask, like, specifically, I know my audience would love this, a lot of effort goes into it, and a lot of thought goes into it, and a lot of money can go into it too. So how much do you reckon, ballpark, like percentage-wise, have gone into marketing or branding over the 16 years?
Probably millions of dollars, but I would say, fact, it's not those millions of dollars that have made our brand. I would say it's the deals we've done.
The proof.
Yes. It's our people, our proof, and who we are in the marketplace that has built our brand, not the money we've spent on marketing.
I agree, because if we just throw, we see this with startups all the time, throw millions of dollars for a marketing campaign for a year, that can make a bad product fail faster.
That is no recipe for success.
True.
The money you spend is no recipe for success, and there's going to be 1,000 examples of that. You have to combine it with the right people, the right experiences, the right outcome, the right culture. There's so many factors that go into a successful brand.
If you had a framework to make a brand like yours, what elements would make that?
Having people around you that are passionate and delivering an experience to your customers that they're going to sit at a table every night of the week and be your biggest raving fans to everyone you know.
Interesting. That's good. And then all the tactics that we hear on socials and all the experts saying you need to do this funnel, you need to do this pixel stuff. I agree with you. It's proof first, because
you need to do all of that 100%. But let's say you do that and you get 100 leads and the leads start calling, but then the leads go, I'm looking for a house in Brisbane, and you are like, we don't do Brisbane. Or how many years experience do you have? I don't really have any experience. Or do you know much about Off the Plan? No, that's not really our thing. So you've gone and wasted all this money on leads that you can't help.
That's true.
So it's not just about funnels. I think you have to build the framework of your business so that when the funnels are in place and the leads come in, you're capturing it and you're winning the business. Why waste money on leads you know you're not going to win from the beginning?
It's absolutely right. It's cart before the horse stuff.
100%.
You mentioned negotiation like 5 times, man, already.
Yep.
You got to be one of the best negotiators in the country. For sure.
I won't argue with that.
Yeah. So give me a little masterclass. Like, what makes a great negotiator like Simon Cohen?
Look, a chef never gives away his recipes, but what I will say to you is, a lot of people think you have to go into a negotiation being a hard ass, being an arsehole, being a baddie. I think the smartest negotiator is one who knows what the other side's weaknesses may be, or what will turn the other sides on, right? And by that I mean the more information you're armed with, the more strategic you can be. And it's that strategy that will win you a negotiation, not being a bully.
Yeah, that's true. Like, where did you learn from this? Like, to give us a story or an experience. You've had so many.
I would say that I go into negotiations every day and people argue back to me every day. And the way I win is by knowing more factually than they will ever know. So I'll give you an example. I go into buy a property and the property's worth $10 million, but they want $13 million. And I see myself as a lawyer. I will go and put a case together of why the property is worth $10 million based on facts, not my feeling, not because the ceiling color's not pretty, or not because I like arches, based on fact. And I put those facts in front of the other side, and I don't know how you can argue with facts.
You can't.
Because then it just comes down to, well, okay, the owner knows it's not worth 13, but that's what they want, right? Different story.
Interesting. So when you're talking to the person who believes their property is 13, or they've been told they can get 13, Simon comes in and says it's 10.
Well, the facts come in and say it's 10.
The facts come in and you deliver the facts?
Yeah.
Right? It comes down to, yes, being the most certain, having the most proof of it, a good case, and then it must come down to people. Like working with that person, like they're emotional about this, right?
100%. You just never get emotional. You step outside of the box, you look at it holistically, you understand what is making them want to sell. Have they bought something and do they need a quick settlement? Have they not found something and do they want a long settlement? Are they cash strapped and do they need to release a deposit? Whatever it might be, you find out information and you use that information to get you a better outcome as opposed to paying more money.
Absolutely. And then we're diving deep. Because if someone's emotional about something, in my view, that's the pin that's poking into something. Why are they emotional? And usually it leads to the whole thread of, they're distressed about something, or they're pushed for cash, or their partner's in their ear about they don't want to let go of it. There's just so many things. So you're right. Like, it's more than just, there's a fact, and then there is playing the man, not just the odds.
Yeah, you don't just put a house up for sale just because you feel like it. There's always a reason. Always.
What are some of the reasons you hear that might surprise some people?
I don't know if any will really surprise people. You know, they bought, they've sold, they're getting divorced, they're downsizing, they're upsizing, kids have moved out of home, can't afford it anymore, can't afford the upkeep, don't want the upkeep.
Interesting. Do you think there's much a difference between about being a buyer's agent? What's the difference between a buyer's agent and just a negotiator? Is it just the label? What is it?
You mean a real estate negotiator?
Sure.
I think there's a big difference. I think a buyer's agent's job is to go out and find every opportunity that exists in the marketplace, to dissect all of those opportunities, to put forward the opportunities that are good, to explain to you why the ones are good and why the ones are bad, to come up with what a property's worth and why it's worth that, and then to negotiate.
Yeah, right.
A negotiator just does the negotiation.
It's very interesting. I was just thinking about, what's the biggest myth about off-market deals in your view?
People can't understand why people sell off-market. 79% of what my company buys is off-market.
Then you won't find on realestate.com?
No.
Interesting. Makes buyers, that's why I love buyer's agents.
Me too.
Yeah. Mate, that is so interesting. So people on their lunch break, you know, they're looking for getting into an investment property, so they're scrolling right now, as you can see. But like, again, the off-market deals, like, when is an off-market actually worse for a buyer? Is there ever like...
Only when a vendor is so unrealistic they haven't been through the process which educates them.
You're pretty public-facing now, like you were on the Lux listings and Too Hot to Handle, remember that show you were on?
No, it definitely was not on Too Hot to Handle.
But like, what's something that happened in your career that maybe the public would be surprised to know?
I think the public would be surprised at how hard it was to get started. You know, I think people watch Lux Listing or Dream Home or My Reno Rules or whatever show it is, and, you know, they see the glitz and glamour and all of that, but it certainly wasn't like that. I mean, I come from very humble upbringing. No one ever gave me anything.
Yeah, right.
You know, I started my career in the eastern suburbs. I lived in the North Shore. I knew no one and knew nothing about it. And so I don't know if people genuinely know how hard it was to break through and how hard it was in those early years, and, you know, the difficulty that comes with running a big business.
Yeah. Going from, like I said, technician, being a real estate agent, to running an agency is a completely different brain. So like, you would have had to learn a whole bunch of stuff on the go, right?
I think the best thing I learned, or the best way I learned, was just from experience.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
You know, things working, things failing, and you just work it out that way, the best way. And then I've been so fortunate, you know, I've had some of the best business minds in the world as clients of mine, and they've become mentors, and I've gotten great advice and tips from them over the years.
Yeah, so going back to the struggle, like you said, what people might be surprised by is like how hard it was.
Yeah.
Give me like a zoom back into this. Like, what late nights, sacrifices, heartbreaks, empty wallets? Like, let's just go into this, man. How hard was this, and how many years did it take before you felt like we got to a sustainable place?
I think as a business owner, I don't think you ever think you get to a place where you're comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Look, we started a business. We started in the GFC. You know, you don't make money for a long time. You pour everything you make back into the business. And, back then I had a business partner and I felt, I was doing all the work. And so I was working the late nights and they weren't. And, so there's that struggle. And during all of this, whilst your staff thinking you're making all of this money back then, when really you're reinvesting it so they can make more money, and you're having issues and all that, you still have to come to work every day with a smile on your face, so everyone thinks everything's fine. And
what did you have on the line that maybe no one really knew?
Everything. I mean, my dad had got sick when I started the business, and so he couldn't work anymore, and so my whole family relied on this business. And so if it didn't work, I wasn't only letting myself down, but I guess I was letting my whole family down.
I did not know that. That's huge.
No one knows that.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So you were
But it drove me
Oh yeah.
so fucking hard that we got through it on top.
Every single person we know who have become savages have definitely had a heaven and hell. Something that compels them forward.
My dad's fine, by the way.
That's good. I'm so glad about that.
But
yeah, that's a huge thing. Like whether it be a history they've had as an upbringing that they desperately want to run away from struggle. That's my story. Or if it's just being given an opportunity they're so grateful for, they want to take it both hands. But that's really interesting. So when did you start first paying yourself healthily? How many years? We got to give it to people.
I was earning healthy money as a real estate agent. I gave that up.
Yep.
And then I would say for at least the first 3 years, I was...
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Getting by.
Yeah, everyone thinks you're rich for the first 3 years and you're putting for everything.
Took a long time to get rich, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that's what people don't hear.
No.
Because they just fast forward to the rich part now where they can see Simon on Lux listings and all that stuff and Cohen Handler and National and just go, mate, it's the Aussie issue.
Yeah.
We don't assume. When I was in America in LA last year, there was a guy that rocked up in a Cybertruck and everyone was like, whoa, the guy got out like, whoa, man, what do you do? Well, how did you get this? We rock up with a Cybertruck in Sydney, what's going to happen?
Yeah, no, but the thing is like a Cybertruck in America is like 30 grand. In Australia, it'd be like 800,000.
No, turn heads but this time.
Yeah, I bet.
The interest...
Yeah. What I love about Americans is they thrive on other people's success. I look at successful people and I think, I absolutely love that.
Me too.
And I'd love to have that energy around me.
Yeah.
And I do think Australia's got a lot better about it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's getting a bit better.
Yeah.
Americans tend to celebrate success.
Yeah.
Australians seem to be threatened or jealous, or there's a pocket, I'm generalising, but there is a sentiment of that. But we assume that Simon didn't struggle. We don't hear the 3 years of all that stuff. But when we do, it's encouraging more than it is, like the opposite. So I think it's really important for people to hear, mate. And
I just learned at a young age that if I wanted something, I had to get it myself. And there's a lot of things I want, so I knew I had to work very hard to get them.
What did you want, mate?
I've always had a affinity for, beautiful cars and houses and travel and...
What does that mean to you?
But most importantly, what I wanted, above all else, was financial freedom and the ability to go to bed every night and not worry about money.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, above anything, that is all I ever genuinely longed for if I dug down into it.
That's good. That's the meaning part. Is the freedom.
And now it's like, to be able to enjoy all these things with people around me who I love. Because how boring would it be to have money and do things, but you got to do them alone?
Yeah, you get to the point where if people skip to the rich part, then you're left with what? You got to find something to do.
Money doesn't make you happy, that I can assure you.
No.
I know a lot of rich people, and a lot of them aren't happy. A lot are, but that's not what made them happy.
Yeah, once you solve your money problems, you're left with problems money can't solve. And that's exactly right. And I was just thinking, like, how many staff did you have in the first, 3 years?
By the end of 3 years, maybe we had 10 or 15.
Yeah, it's a lot. And
maybe 10.
Yeah, wow. And how big's the team now?
100 and something.
Wow, that's crazy. So going from just a real estate agent and learning how to hire staff, culture, HR, payroll, man, that would have been the steep learning curve.
I'm very lucky. My mother was our first employee. She's incredible at the books.
Beautiful.
She's the CEO of our whole group now of 5
Is she?
companies.
That's so awesome.
We're very fortunate about that. I certainly wasn't doing everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm far from a genius. I far from understand bookkeeping. There are a lot of things I didn't do. But I worked somewhere before where my boss took advantage of me financially, and I learned all the things that I didn't want to be in the culture if I ever worked somewhere else again. And I decided I wanted to create a business where if I was an agent, that's where I would want to work. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't rocket science. I just took my learnings and turned them into what it is today.
No, it's good. Because I can hear in people's heads, if they're a buyer's agent right now and they just started an agency, because there seems to be so much momentum and that everyone seems to be, buyer's agents are the richest people in Australia right now, that people are struggling.
Yeah.
They're struggling in silence. And
They won't tell you that.
They won't
but
tell
I can
you.
tell you they're not doing deals. Mm-hmm. And if you're not doing deals, you're not making money.
And you're not doing money, making money what?
You're paying bills with money you're not that's
it's
coming
stress.
in. Yeah.
There's stress and anxiety.
And then you start forcing clients into buying properties they shouldn't buy, overpaying. Mm-hmm. And that just means your business is the short term, not the long term.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's true. I'm helping buyers agents and buyers agencies all across Australia to do one thing: build a brand that Australians will really love. Because here's the thing, there's so many of you out there. How can I tell the difference between you and someone else? And we've heard this on this episode from Simon Cohen himself. The brand is more than just how you look, it's the service you provide and the proof you have. So many of you guys are terrible historians at presenting themselves well. You sound like everyone else, and that's why your ads are going down the toilet. That's why your ad spend is being thrown, basically pissing against the wall, because there is a framework I use that helps buyers agents and agents stand out from the rest. You can offer the same exact service, but it's how you present yourself that really matters, your key messaging. I call it the house of branding. Bottom level foundation is your key message and story. That's the whole heritage of why you're even doing this, purpose-led. Then it's to media. What identity you have, who you're targeting, what you look like, what you sound like, what type of angle you take, and the words that help you sell on your website. Then we build offers. So we look at landing pages, we look at funnels, all the things that help drive traffic back to your team to convert them in the sales team. Then we look at media. So how do we look at all the things you've done below and look at positioning you from a place of proof and authority? The media won't talk to you unless you have an angle, an offer, or proof to be able to give them to be able to make it worthwhile, and newsworthy. And the top tier is partnerships. The best personal brands, myself included, attract great joint ventures, partnerships, and verticals that go outside of their business or help feed in things to the current business. Personal branding is still the thing, I believe, that people trust the fastest. So 84% of millennials don't trust ads that come from the company that made them. They need to see the jockey, not the horse. So if you are an agent and you want to apply, we don't take on everyone, but if you're growing and you are looking to invest, then contact us, see if you're a fit with us. I'll be happy to chat to see if we could take your buyer's agency to the next level. Running an agency seems to be a completely different sport. So break down what makes an elite buyer's agent.
Someone with experience, someone with empathy, someone who's not afraid to fight. You really have to be able to fight, and someone who really understands the client and what they're looking for.
Which of those can't be trained in your view?
I don't think any of those can be trained.
Interesting. You got to be a certain animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a certain animal, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you? How would you describe yourself?
Well, I'm a Leo, so I'm a lion. I'm very much a Leo.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. That's good.
Loyal to the nth degree. If you're not loyal to me, you're dead to me. But for whatever I believe, I will fight and fight till the end.
Yeah. And would you say that you were like that as a kid too? It was very much through...
I was very different as a kid. I was... ADD, hyperactive, not very hardworking.
Is it just because you didn't... school's just not made for people like that.
I think you get put in environments and you either excel or you don't. I'm in the right environment now. I don't know if school was the right environment for me.
No, same for me.
It taught me lots. It taught me the importance of community. It taught me the importance of relationships. It taught me a lot of those things. But did it teach me academically? No.
Yeah, same for me. I'm thinking there are a lot of buyer's agencies out there now, and they are popping up like flies. So you'll, like you said, with your real estate agents and the contacts, like we're getting bombarded with thousands of these guys. I've never heard of them. What do you think kills agencies at scale? Like when you're growing at scale like you guys have, what do you think kills it? So at a certain point, it would have been, you get to a certain point where it's predictable a bit, it's sustainable. You got a team at 15, 20, 25, but then you hit a whole new different constraint. What do you think, what kills agencies?
Hiring the wrong people. Hiring people that, A, too many of them cover the same patches, and B, some of those people aren't of the opinion that the more, it causes conflict and greed, and that was my client or my listing. Or, I think if you build an agency where everyone has their patch, which means everyone has their place.
Interesting.
You hire people that thrive on seeing their colleagues succeed. Then it doesn't matter how big you get, it'll be great. But if you hire people who are jealous of each other, who are stomping on each other's toes, who are going after the same things, it'll be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. I see a lot of shift, like I see in the buyer's agency industry, and I want to hear your view on this, how it's shifting a little bit. I want to see like what you see in for the next 2026. There's a few, like one is like you see a lot of buyer's agents that are owner-occ. They just focus on that. There's also the investor now. There's some that are flipping, so they go to NT and they're like, oh, this is a quick blah, blah, blah. And they have the different things.
Throw a granny flat in the back. Listen, trends will always be trends. I think if you stick with the basics, and that's buying great real estate, whether it's resi, commercial, investment, that's what you want to do. You don't want to get stuck on flipping where, a war breaks out yesterday all of a sudden. Costs skyrocket and you think you were spending 150, but you spent 300 and you've eaten into all your profit. Real estate's a long game, and I think if you're looking to buy, that's the mindset you should have.
Yeah, where do you see it heading?
The market?
Yeah. Like your industry actually at the start.
Well, look, the thing about my industry is, what I love is that 16 years ago, no one used a buyer's agent. Today, 60% of people use a buyer's agent. In the not too distant future, I hope 100% of people use a buyer's agent as they see it is just genuinely part of the process. And so that's where I hope it's heading. It's certainly 60% up from where I started, so let's hope it keeps going.
Yeah, interesting. I hear a lot of buyer's agents say like they're flexing a lot of their portfolios. So it's one of those controversial ones. So you had the rise of real estate agents I've known for, and you've come from this background where you make yourself the hero. You flash your watch, you flash your car, and then
sold at 500 over reserve.
Yeah, all that shit. Yeah. You see buyer's agents now are flexing how much they have in their own portfolio as part of their branding play. What's your view on that?
I think it's hilarious. I think these people say, I've got a $10 million property portfolio. I think if you said, how much debt do you have? And they told you they've got $9.8 million worth of debt, it's not very impressive, is it? Right? I think it's such a dumb play. And the people who fall for it, unfortunately, are imbeciles, because someone leveraging themselves to the tits doesn't make them successful or smart or a genius, right? If you're a buyer's agent and you say, hey, I bought that property 2 years ago for $2 million and it just got valued at $4 million, to me, that's way more impressive than having 10 $1 million properties that haven't grown in the last 10 years.
That's going to upset a lot of people hearing that. That's interesting.
No, I'm not here to make people feel good. You asked me a question, I'm answering it.
No, it's interesting because you can see the trend. I've got 100 portfolio. I've got 100 in my property portfolio. I have 30 million in my portfolio.
How much has your portfolio grown in the last 5 years? How much equity do you have in your portfolio?
Keep going.
To me, that's way more important.
Yeah, because it's like leaving out the details. Like, okay, I got $30 million portfolio, but I have...
I can go buy a 100 mil property tomorrow, put 10 mil down, borrow 90%. Is that really impressive? Is it? No. Could go buy 10 $1 million properties tomorrow, and in 5 years, they could all still be worth $1 million. Is that impressive?
That's interesting. So that to me, so how would you prefer, how do you think the best and the better approach would be for buyers agents rather than saying, oh, I've got 50 mil, I've got 100 properties?
I'd rather you say you got 3 properties in the best areas that have performed incredibly over the last 5 years. And you as a buyer's agent know the places to look where you're going to get that growth. Growth, not leverage, growth.
Yeah, so I think what are the vanity metrics then of buyers agents that they're talking about today?
They just talk about how much property they own when really the bank owns 95% of it.
For Simon Cohen, you've done it all, mate.
I don't know about that. There's a long way to go.
So where is that? Where's next?
Our business is just warming up. It's just getting started. I mean, we have incredible other brands like Cohen Handler Secure and Costi Cohen and Renter and Cohen Farquharson's, and so it's growing our group. You know, it's moving forwards. It's not moving backwards. It's entering new markets. It's growing in old markets. It's you know, delivering the best experience for our clients and our team members. We have a long way to go, but we'll get there.
Yeah, 16 not out, and just I love the focus of expanding the group.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's focus. To me, it's passion. I think, like, what else would I rather be doing? And it's nothing. And if I won $300 million tomorrow, would that make me stop doing what I'm doing? No, because I don't think there's any greater thrill than what I do every day.
And that's the tester of passion.
I'm not smart enough to be a surgeon and save people's lives, so I don't get that thrill.
Please don't do that, bro.
But I get my thrill, and I don't think any amount of money can ever take that away.
I think that is the litmus test for all passion, is that would you do it for free, even if you had all the money?
Yeah.
And the answer for me and a lot of the peers
I wouldn't do it for free because I value my time and my experience. I genuinely value it.
But you still choose to do it.
But I wouldn't need the money, so maybe I'd give the money to charity. But I don't think it's a service that should be for free, because I definitely think I'm adding value.
But you don't do it for the money.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it for the money.
Exactly, that's the point, is that...
I think the money comes in any industry you're in if you really love it.
Yeah, it follows you if you do a good job and you're passionate. Because in a sea of, okay, I've got 10 tabs on my web browser for 10 buyers agents right in front of me. How do I tell the difference? And I have 10 conversations with them. The one with he's the most prepared, the most passionate, all those invisible abilities, they tend to be the ones who do the best.
Yeah, but who's the one that's got the most experience?
Exactly.
Who's the one that's going to open the most doors for you? Who's the one with the track record of the most happy clients? And those are the things you've got to dig deeper for.
Yeah, I just can't emphasize enough for those who are listening that your brand is more than the aesthetics. It's like the experience and the selection of your team and how you treat your customers. I remember there's a guy named Johnny Rocker. He was the CEO of Lexus Australia. I gave him his tagline for Sydney Toyota City. And it was on Instagram. And I got a screenshot of it, and I'll put it up as proof because I'm a proof guy.
What was the tagline?
Tagline is, go with who treats you best.
Yep.
And that's what they're using. Because back in COVID, everyone had no stock and they couldn't negotiate on the car floor. Remember those days? So who are you going to choose? Everyone's got the same price. You couldn't do it anymore. You go who's treated best. So I remember he said, come experience this. I came through, I got a phone call from his receptionist, said, oh, what's your coffee order? That was like ages ago, like weeks before my appointment. And I walked up to the car yard and the receptionist saw my face. She must have done a Google search or something to find me. Said, oh, Matt. I'm like, how do you know me? Here's your coffee order. We're expecting you. Those little touches, experience incredible.
100%.
But,
taglines are an interesting thing. 16 years ago, I came up with right property, right price. I guarantee you if you open up 10 buyer's agent tabs today, they're all going to say right property, right price. I actually dare you to do that when we get off this podcast because you'll find it. And I go back to experience. We talk about brand. I mentioned Aston Martin before. Let's go with Aston Martin.
Sure.
You can watch an Aston Martin video and it can be the sexiest video you've ever seen. The cars driving through Portofino, the sound, the colors, the vision, the hand stitched leather, like incredible, right? You can walk into Aston Martin, and if you stand there and no one greets you, how are you going to feel?
Yeah, like you're nothing. You don't
The
matter.
brand becomes nothing, right? And so I think it's way more than the videos and the pictures.
Yeah.
I think we live in a world where brand comes down to user experience more than anything else.
It's basically our bodies, we just carry stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we're basically containers, and we carry vibes, we carry values, and brands are basically a synonym for identity. So when we talk about brand, people get stuck on the external, but it's really what comes through and what we pour into it. And what you poured into Cohen Handler is incredible, mate.
Well, thank you.
It's a high standard.
There's a lot more to pour.
There's a lot more to pour. We're just seeing the beginning of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's next, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.